the Bible app and the House Party app so you guys can connect with us on there.
And just a few reminders, on Monday night we have Monday Night Minecraft, Friday night is Friday Night Fortnite, and
Watch this!
we are going to be playing a new game called Dare Tag. Basically, we're going to pass this handy dandy ball around, toss it, turn it, pass it, boom. Yeah, and so whenever the countdown stops, the person holding this has to do a dare of the group's choice. So, yeah. And yeah, so let's get started. And Cody.
Oh my gosh. You're supposed to grab the ball. Oh my goodness, you're not supposed to whip it either. That makes me want to whip it.
Well, you can't.
Time's up.
That was all you. Alright, let's see. I noticed you're wearing a llama shirt. Come here, come this way. Come this way. I noticed you are wearing a llama shirt.
Sure.
Cody, we would like for you to give a passionate speech about llamas.
You know what the best animal in the world is? It's a llama. And you know what makes them better? You can say no problema instead of no problemo. And they're so great. You know, they spit at people, so that just means they like you.
Yeah, give me 3 good reasons why we should save the llamas, Cody.
They're cuddly, soft, and they're great to ride on. Like horses.
Have you ever ridden a llama?
A while ago.
You've ridden a llama.
Yeah.
Point for Cody. Comment down below if you think that was good enough.
Or add on to it.
Good enough isn't good enough, Karen.
Your ball, dude.
Jacob! Smell the shoe of the person to your left.
There's a door!
Yeah, someone's doing the circle.
Wait. Two things going out here.
To his left would be you, Cody.
This would be. Oh,
If you want all the way around the world, and underneath,
Cody would be on your left.
I mean, I can't smell it, still I'm recovering.
Don't say that. You can't say that on camera.
Oh, we might get it through the phone, I'm bad.
that might clear your sinuses.
I know this isn't our religion, but that's fine.
You gotta go get that now.
I gotta get the ball.
Would you smell Cody's shoe?
I don't know.
I wouldn't. I would
not either.
The question is, can you smell it? No, I found that out.
Go!
Cody.
I thought you said you were a lineman.
Linemen don't catch.
I know.
Beep!
Okay, what is it?
Imitate.
A youth leader? Imitate.
Don't say. We're supposed to guess.
Okay. Well, then I can't do Pastor Denny.
Obviously.
Alright, so. Oh my gosh, I'm so tan. I'm brown.
Oh my.
I feel insulted.
Summer.
I'm not orange.
I've literally admitted to being orange.
I can't stand. Next!
I think that was bad.
Wait. Give it.
That's not fair. We all know whose turn it is. This is dumb. I don't wanna.
Summer!
Animal.
Give
Give
the worm to be dying fish.
your best British accent. Give me a full sentence or 2.
I have the strength to insult mine.
I feel like I'm gonna accidentally use an Australian
No,
accent.
that's not a British accent.
No,
It's barely discernible, so you know, I mean, no offense, but barely discernible. I've never heard a British person say crikey.
Yeah,
Crikey. They're like the Australian epic.
Yeah, that's just adding a word.
Alright, give me 2 sentences.
You're really
Passionate sentences.
Passion from the heart.
Passion.
No, I'm not doing a passion.
More passionate than his speech.
Something
My
that
llama's
tell me
super
about
fast.
something you're passionate about.
Please stop me if I'm
accent.
using an Australian accent
We
and
won't
I
do
will
it.
go
promises.
You're small. Hello, Mate.
That
Out
is.
you.
That's Australian.
I knew it.
They
What
start
British
off with
person
mate.
is mate?
Cheerio.
They've never.
Oh, cheerio.
Top of the
Talk about
morning.
tea.
Here
Top
you
of the
go.
morning.
There you go.
Top of the morning. That counts.
There you go.
Hello, governor.
Oh, ready? Duh! That's what I was thinking of.
Alright, everyone say, hope you had fun playing in a British accent. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, we have fun playing.
During this time, you guys can just press in and raise your hands if you guys would feel comfortable doing that, or you can sing the words, just follow along. calmness that is found in you alone. It washes over every doubt, every imperfection. Jesus, your presence is the comfort of my soul. There's nowhere I'd rather be when you're singing over me, and I just wanna be here with you. And I'm lost in your mystery, I'm found in your love for me. And I just wanna be here with you. Here in the waiting, I won't worry about tomorrow. No need to focus on the things I can't control. All my attention on the wonder of this moment. Jesus, your presence is the comfort of my soul. There's nowhere I'd rather be when you're singing over me. And I just wanna be here with you. And I'm lost in your mystery, I'm found in your love for me. And I just wanna be here with you. So little that I am, be consumed with who you are. Oh, the glory of your presence. What more could I ask for? So little that I am, be consumed with who you are. Oh, the glory of your presence. What more could I ask for? So little that I am, be consumed with who you are. Oh, the glory of your presence. What more could I ask for?
So we've been on a series. Obviously, we're on week 4 and we're closing out the series. And we just wanted to get down to the nitty gritty. That sounds weird. Of the series, because a lot of times you'll hear the message and then you'll maybe take notes on it, and then you'll never look at it again and never think about, like, that was a good message, but how do I apply that to my life? So that's what we want to do. We just want to kind of talk about how to apply the series practically to our lives. And I just want to start off by maybe first, was there something throughout the series that stood out to you guys?
The 6 practical steps to breaking or forming a habit.
So last week we were part 3 talking about, we got down to the practical parts of how to add or start habits in your life. Because how many of you guys know, I don't know, but for those out here and you guys up here, I think we all know, it's extremely hard to start a habit. Like, especially ones that we don't like. Like, if we step away from the spiritual aspect for a second, it's super hard to start working out. This guy knows because we tease you, but we've been on it for what, 3 or how many, like a whole month there in summer?
Just this summer.
This summer, and then you were done. Like you were done with working out last summer, right? Because it's hard, it's not easy, and then there's like, sleep schedule. There are like things, like there's good excuses and bad excuses that happen, right? And so last week we talked about how to put 6 steps. There's these 6 steps that you can use to help create those habits that are hard. So like, for example, spiritual, like talk about our spiritual relationship with God. Let's be honest, it's hard to read your Bible, right? Like we were talking about how last week, like, let's be honest, there's boring stuff that we feel like sometimes in the Bible, and when we get to that spot, it's like, ooh, see you in 2 weeks, God, right?
So and so was the father of this, and then the son of blah.
names.
A list of just like the whole page and a half of names.
Yeah, like you usually skip it. So we said 6 steps. You guys remember the 6 steps? Cody, notification. Turn off your phone. So 6 steps. You guys remember the 6 steps? Make it easy.
Make it obvious.
Make it obvious.
The 2-minute rule.
2-minute rule.
Using accountability.
Accountability. They left.
So yeah, they left me. My problem was I didn't make it easy trying to remember this, so I don't know it.
Oh, do you guys know the other one?
Track your habits.
Track your habits.
I should probably start doing that.
Yeah, start tracking. Like track your habits. Like we were talking about Snapchat. How many of you guys have Snapchat? Like let's be honest, pretty much all of us use it. And one of the things that Snapchat does to keep you going back to the app is streaks, right? How many of you guys just feel guilty or bad when you break that streak with that friend that you've had forever, right? Yeah, and like that's why they're there. It's because they know if you have a strong streak, you're going to come back, right? It helps create habits. So we talk about, and if you want more in depth on that, I mean, go back and watch last week's message. What else? What else stood out throughout I guess 3 weeks of the message series?
For me, it was Gideon and how, like, even though things didn't look good, like, God has a plan for, like, what he had to do and stuff.
Yeah. I know, thinking about that too is like, a lot of times we like to look at our circumstances, or what God's calling us to do. So like, I know for me, God had called me to be a pastor. And for those that were here Sunday, I didn't get to finish the story on Sunday, so I'm going to finish it now. I knew I was called at a young age to be a pastor. I don't know exactly what type of pastor, what that looked like. I just knew I was called in the ministry to be a pastor. And I remember, I say this all the time, I was super shy. I had a stutter problem. And I remember as I was breaking off certain things and thought I was doing good, also me and my buddy, a close friend of mine, was at church, and he had asked the pastor, I was going to say pastor, but I said it. You guys don't know the pastor, so it's all right. I had asked the pastor, like, do you think Denny would be a great pastor one day? And he's like, and given he was looking at who I was at that moment, he'd be a good deacon. Because how many of you guys know, like, deacons are the people that are pretty much behind the scenes, you don't hear from them, right? So if you're shy, that's a perfect spot, right? He wasn't seeing me how God saw me. See, God sees us at our final destination, our final, who we're called to be, right? So, what else?
The first week you talked about how God can't bless who you're pretending to be and how like culture will put identities on you. But if you're pretending to be, or if you're playing the part that culture puts on you and you know what God's calling you to be, but you're not, then He can't like help you out in that.
Filter. What is that, like a hashtag filter life? I think that's a thing. You guys don't use hashtag, do you? Come on! I use hashtag all the time. To filter life, where you, like, I know everyone's guilty here of it. I go to the next level in Photoshop. I like Photoshop. I legitimately have this picture of Titus, and you guys can go on my Instagram and try to find it. He's at a younger age, and he's like sitting up, better posture than I am. And it's not because he could sit up, it's because I had Photoshopped Josie out of the picture. You can try finding it. Someone's like, wait, you did? I thought you was just sitting up all the time. I promise. I should post it later, like what it is, and then swipe over to see how I Photoshopped it out. But a lot of times we always like to give the best version of ourselves, and a lot of times we're pretending to be someone that we're not. You have something, don't you?
No.
Like a label or like something, stuff like that, like people getting calling me stuff, and like kind of throughout school when you get bullied, which kind of happens. It's a given when you go to public school. You're gonna get some sort of bullying. Doesn't matter where it's at, but you're gonna get it. I was called dumb, stupid, trout. Most of the time I get a reason to call me that, but
That's besides the point.
yeah.
We're not talking about that.
But yeah, I struggled throughout all the way. But I ended up graduating. And if you're dumb or stupid, you wouldn't graduate or do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was actually able to do what they were saying that I wasn't able.
Yeah, I know for me, someone else has something. I know for me, going through college, becoming a Bible college to become a pastor, I struggled still even with labels of being shy and even what that person had said, and just constantly hearing different things like that. And I remember when I was trying to see myself through the lens of God compared to what culture was saying and labels were trying to be put on me, I had to make a decision. And I think a lot of times we don't think about that. We think we hear these great messages, like, oh, we got to rip off the label, let God rip off the label, right? But it comes down to, okay, you have to choose to say, God, I'm laying it down, right? It comes down to a choice. And for me, I had to make the choice saying, okay, I'm not going to allow this label to identify who I am any longer. I got to remove the filter that Charlotte was saying.
And I would burn the labels, and then we ended up burning the carpet at the same time.
I don't remember that time. Anyone else before we move on? Things from the series? All right, so the series we've been talking about this tension, right? This tension that in Paul, or it's in Romans chapter 7, verse 15 through 18 and 19. And Paul is talking about this tension of knowing what to do and not doing it. Kind of the same thing with knowing our calling, but not doing it. So my question is, here's my question to you guys. Have you ever felt a tension and felt that tension in your life, and what was that like, and like how? If that makes sense. Tyler, you're smiling at me like you have something. Yeah, speak up for it.
You don't know, I have a lot of anger issues. A lot. And there was this one certain time, I'm playing a game of basketball in the gym. It's getting pretty physical, and I was just not having it, and I just suplexed him, and just, yeah, it was bad.
Let the anger take the best of you.
Yeah.
You also got pretty physical with a wall.
Oh, the wall reminds me of a story actually down in a basement, and me and me and Richie. You guys, I think everyone knows Richie. If you don't know Richie, I'm sorry. Richie thought he could get a little bit physical. It's one of those situations where Richie should know, okay, I know I shouldn't do this because he's bigger and stronger in every way, and you guys can share this to Richie later. Bigger, stronger in every way. Anyways, and he chose to, you know, listen to Satan or something and come at me. And literally, this is all I did. We like tangled for a second, and then he stepped back. I stepped to the side, head into the wall. Head into the wall. I think they just now fixed. It was at Jody's house. The hole could still be in the basement. I don't know. There was another time with my big toe, but that's for a different time. That went through the wall. Big toe went through the wall to upstairs. There's been a lot of things that happened.
Just the big toe?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that one. That's besides the point. Anyone else on like that tension in your lives?
I mean, it was like kind of tension, but like when you're walking down, like anywhere, it could be like for me, it was a lot of times it happened when we went to New York a while back. You'd see someone,
Whoa.
they would just
You're not talking about girls, are you?
you'd
Tension of
see
girls.
a person,
A person.
a carbon-based life form.
No. You're talking about girls right now. You're talking about the tension of you're walking and you're like, ooh.
Okay,
wow.
there definitely wasn't.
That's
New
the
York.
tension you're talking about right now.
If it's women, it definitely wasn't New York. Maybe
Wait, you were on a mission trip! You were on a mission trip!
I can positively say no one in New York was attractive.
Yeah.
No one.
I mean,
Wow. Oh, that's last! We'll talk about that. Tension, the tension snip. Yeah, tension. Girls can be tension, that's for sure. Oh, sorry. Men. Jacob. That's tension there. Knowing, like, a lot of times we talk about relationships, like, we know what we're supposed to do. I think almost everybody knows within you what you're not supposed to do, you know what I mean? Sex before marriage. For the most part, I think people know you shouldn't do that. Like, deep down, they might say, like, oh, it's okay. But deep down, after, you know, you've done the deed, you feel dirty. Like, yeah, I hear it over and over all the time. Especially if you have the Spirit of God within you. And so there's that tension, you know what I mean? Especially with relationships and holding on to your purity and all that, there's constant tension there. So that's a hard one because that's where you have to, like we were talking about, making a choice and having disciplines within our lives. Anyone else? They're like, oh, I don't know about that now. Oh. Go ahead. No, yeah. I should get off the stage right now, but I have to stand up for this one because this is funny. How many of you guys watch Marvel movies? Have you guys watched Marvel movies? We decided to start the timeline, talk about tension in relationships. Thank you, Jacob. We were watching Marvels, and we're going through, and we got to Thor. Now, how many of you guys know Thor's a good-looking guy? Like I'm saying now, like I'm like, wow, like I want to see his shirt off a little bit. I mean, hey, inspiring to be, right? So I had a few people over, Charlotte and Clarissa, and I think it was the second one. And the first one. You guys remember the battles? Oh yeah, you guys remember the battle scene that like Loki sends that robot, the Destroyer, right? And Thor is sending everybody away, and he's like, okay, everybody has to go and he's gonna go. So this is the scene, the Destroyer, and all of a sudden Thor turns everybody away, and all of a sudden, legitimately, Thor comes around like this. And the wind's just blowing, right? You know, when you're cold and his nipples are this. I don't know if I can say this in a youth service, but I'm going to. They were very perfect. And here I'm in the room, and I'm like, I got a bunch of girls in here, so I'm going to make sure they're being pure with their eyes. And Charlotte looks at everyone. She has her pillow giggling. And it gets worse. Because later in the next one, there's another girl in the room, I won't say who, Clarissa. She's sitting holding the pillow, and the scene came up when his shirt is off. And Charlotte's like, all right, I learned my lesson the first time. I'm letting go. I'm standing on purity. And here's Clarissa. So we had to pray for her after that movie.
For the record, that was
tension. The tension was strong in the room.
No, I was just simply seeing if anyone else had noticed.
Yeah, okay. We all noticed. You staring. The tension was thick in there. But I think like you see this tension happen like all kinds of different areas. Like even something silly like that, like in a movie, like knowing you should turn your head. I know that one, whatever on that one, but there's those scenes that come up where some guy's like, oh, it's just a butt, or it's just, I'm saying big word.
Or like you're walking down the mall and Victoria's Secret's coming up, so you just have to keep your head down.
Like, the husband and the wife are like, let's go get past this. That's an awkward tension. You guys know the tension. Don't lie to me.
You gotta look at the vehicle.
Kate's over here like, I don't know what you're talking about. The tension is real. I'm just trying to get to GNC and not look over here. You just gotta get behind me, right? Tension happens all the time. And this is the tension that Paul was talking about when knowing what to do and not to do it, right? So, all right, let's continue. So this whole series we were also talking about Gideon and how Gideon had that tension, and Gideon, God had come down and told Gideon, hey, Gideon, you're going to be you're a great warrior, you're gonna be all this, right? Which was countercultural to what he believed about himself and what people said, because if you guys remember, he said, oh, this can't be true, God, because I'm the weakest of my clan, right? So my question is, what has been some of your labels, did I already ask this, that people have put on you, and how did that make you feel? Like some of these labels. I know you were talking about some labels. I guess we kind of touched about it. Do you guys have any specific labels that you feel like people put on you? Like for me, I know I already mentioned over and over about being shy. Like that was a big one that carried on me forever.
Me not being smart and being in special ed class my whole life.
Same.
How not to be therapeutical here, but how did that make you feel?
Actually, I felt pretty bad about myself. I felt self-conscious all the time about it. Every time when my special ed teacher would come into the room, everybody would just look at me and be like,
oh yeah, for the middle of class.
And then I would just always say no, that I don't want to do it, and then my grades would just.
Yeah.
Your teacher must have been bad because I got a donut or something every time. So I had a good reason to go.
No. Yeah, so anyone else on labels? Like any other labels that you guys feel like that maybe you're still trying to, if you're willing to be open, overcome that people put on you, and here's what a label is. If you need even a bigger definition for it, insecurities in your life. What is some things that because usually you can tie every insecurity to something that someone has said about you or done, or maybe something that you were having this expectation of something to happen and it doesn't happen, and so you get insecure. You guys know what I'm talking about? For me, once again, even to this day I battle with it and I'm still overcoming it. If I mean super real talk is because being shy was one of those things, and for me, one of my love languages, my number one love language is words of affirmation. So being shy and understanding that about myself, that I was shy, and words of affirmation. So for me, one of my insecurities and ones that I still deal with is I'm constantly, I don't want to say I'm constantly looking for this, but like approval, you know what I mean? You want approval from people in what you do, because especially if it's in the setting, when I was first starting, I'd want to be I'd be looking for Jacob to come up and be great message. Oh, thanks, Jacob. Any type of those insecurities where you're looking, because that's a label that gets put on your life too, where insecurity. You guys got something or?
For me, one time I was staying with a group of my friends, and someone walked up, and I basically got called out because I was kind of sitting there and I kind of got awkward. They're like, Summer, why are you being so awkward? And then that just made me feel super self-conscious about it, and I couldn't stop thinking about it.
You were going to say something, weren't you?
I mean, I don't like swimming at all because I feel like everybody's judging me and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So insecurity
Let's swim. I don't care how I look. If I could swim, I would be happy.
All right. I'm gonna close in prayer unless you guys have any final things you want to add. About to close, if you had to, how about this? 3 words or 1 word? What are we gonna do to end the series? What would you? Go ahead. He knew.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Oh, that's good. That is good. Cut it out.
Let's just end And I'm not, that was good.
No, there's another one. There's another one. You want it, don't you? Let it go. Let it go. Oh, sorry. What else? What else? Cut it out, let it go. We'll stop, we'll end it there. Cut it out, let it go. So in real life, having a real relationship with God is you gotta cut it out. Talk about Baal. What is your Baal in your life? We'll talk about that. So let's pray. Lord, we just thank you for tonight. We thank you that we're able just to dive in, talk about what we've been learning, Father. And help us just to be able to really apply it to our lives, Father. And help us just to continue to go back on YouTube, Lord, and rewatch us if we have to walk out this real relationship with you. In Jesus' mighty name, everybody said, Amen. Amen.